Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We have got an exciting Trans-Tasman battle just about to take place out there on the field. New Zealand versus Australia. Now, normally this is a playoff game, and in a way it is, but it's only playing off for a spot in the quarterfinals that these two sides find themselves playing for. Samoa already qualified in Group A. The next question is, who will be the other side? Whoever wins this game, that is going to be who makes their way through, and they will be taking on Ireland. Now, New Zealand have played Ireland quite a bit in the past over the last few legs of the Sevens circuit. Australia, not so much, but they will certainly want to get through for the Aussies, who come in as slight favourites into this matchup. But looking through at the two sides for Australia will be Nick Maloof, Henry Hutchinson, Nathan Lawson, Maurice Longbottom, Josh Turner, Dietrich Roach, and James Turner. Now, that's actually a very similar lineup to what we saw in their last match when they did play up against Samoa, where they were narrowly defeated, but they want to be able to fire back in this match up against the Kiwis. Looking through at the New Zealand lineup will be Sam Dixon, Dylan Collier, Sione Molia, Kurt Baker, Joe Webber, Regan Ware, and Moses Leo in there as well. So a lot of short names in the starting lineup for New Zealand. Looking at it, I guess not having McGarvey Black or Rockali Soa in there certainly shortens the average length of the first and last names. But New Zealand, they need to try and win this game. They didn't have a great performance up against Samoa, in which they were defeated 24-0. They weren't fantastic up against Hong Kong. They managed to get the win, but not by the kind of margin that they did expect, although saying that Samoa just winning by a very similar margin up against the Hong Kong side. And the series, the only team that's really dominated Hong Kong is Australia, and they will be hoping have a big performance here. Looking through at the bench, it has Stuart Dunbar, Henry Patterson, Tim Clements, Ben Maher, and Kai Oates in the reserves for the Australians. Then Brady Rush, Rockali Soa, McCarvey Black, Nicole, and Carter as the last man for New Zealand. But they just showed last 5 times that these two sides have played, 3 going in favour of the Australians, 2 in favour of New Zealand. So pretty much any time they play, it's a close game. Could go either way. I'm going to go New Zealand by 9 points. That's a weird total. We'll go New Zealand by 10 points, in fact, for the prediction. Very optimistic. Or New Zealand by 12. I'll go New Zealand by 12. Sorry, I'm just changing it. At the moment, I feel like they will know how much this game means to them in terms of the Sevens competition. Could get knocked out before even making it to the quarters, which would be massive for New Zealand. It would be massive for Australia as well, though. So either of these sides need to put absolutely everything into it. Sports Highlights has said, hi, welcome in. Ryan has got the New Zealand flag there in gold. Australia says, Jason, do let me know your score predictions, ladies and gentlemen, for this matchup, and also who you think will be able to get themselves the first try of the contest. I'll go Moses Leo for the Kiwis, and then if it's an Australian, I think we are due to see a try from Dietrich Roach. New Zealand winning up against Hong Kong, 38 points to 14, which leaves both New Zealand and Australia sitting on 4 points here. Australia, they've got themselves some pretty good runs as of late, I guess I should say, for the 7 series. They finished in first overall or second? Might have been second overall last year for the 7 series, maybe even third. But they will be looking to do massive win here, get themselves through to the quarterfinals and take down the Irish when they do get that opportunity. But now it is going to be kicked off by Dietrich Roach. I should mention the undefeated Irish in Hong Kong so far as well. Slapped back by Josh Turner. Great ball retention already from Australia within the first 5 seconds. They got their kickoff back, and now they look to attack. It's going to be James Turner taken down. Penalty in favour of the Australians for the player not rolling away. Dietrich Roach takes the quick tap. 35 metres out from the New Zealand line now. Hutchinson goes across the Maurice Longbottom. Now, bad run forward from Nick Maloof. He doesn't really shy away from any type of contact out there on the park, and that is why he can be such a dangerous player for the Australians. Hutchinson goes across to Dietrich Roach, inside ball to James Turner. Missed tackle from the Kiwis, and now it's going to be James Turner scoring the first try of the contest. New Zealand have conceded, and that is the last start to the match New Zealand were after. They didn't get themselves the kickoff, and in the end, stolen by Australia. They went phase after phase, and then they kept their composure. Dietrich Roach, beautiful inside ball. They could see that the defence was slowly drifting across with Kurt Baker and Dixon. And then Turner, with the pace up the middle, is able to score it dangerous from Australia early on in high Hamish. New Zealand already got a try. They certainly did not, Brandon. This one The Australians have been able to score first. Are we live, says Catherine? We are indeed. Currently sitting 5-0 in favour of the Australians. Low kick does go away to the left-hand side. Also, I don't know whether or not it would have had the height to be able to go over, but Australia, with that try, as the live ladder stands, they are above New Zealand. They will be finishing in second if this was the full-time result, but there are still plenty more tries between these two sides to be had. And it seems to be they either have a low-scoring close game or a high-scoring close game between these two sides. So maybe it's going to be the high-scoring one today. Nice work from Kurt Baker. Actually, Archer asking the touch judge whether or not there was a penalty there for being taken out in the air, but I don't think he had much of a case in his favour. Sione Molia tries to break through. Nice tackle made by Dietrich Roach. Regan Ware plays half. Now Collier gives it across to Joe Weber. One more to Moses Leo. Breaks one tackle, almost able to get through another. Decides against going for the offload. Just trying to fight off Henry Hutchison here. Almost throwing hands for Moses Leo. Now Dylan Collier goes off to the right-hand side, breaks the line, got a bit of pace as well. Collier, he slipped over, unfortunately just getting absolutely destroyed by the Hong Kong turf. They have to take him down low. Good tackle made by Josh Turner. Now off to Regan Ware with the 64 on his back. It is for his kids. He did say in an interview, he said that it is the months that they were born. In fact, sorry, the days that they were born. Now, wide cut-out pass. Moses Leo down the wing. Too much pace, and that will be the try for New Zealand now. And Moses Leo does score it, or he doesn't yet. Now he puts it down, gets a couple extra meters towards the post, makes the kick just a little bit easier. What time does your mum and dad get up or stay up night? Says Brandon. So they will be getting up at around 3:30, I believe, in the morning so that they can take part in that All Blacks versus Wales stream. It's going to be a late night one. It's going to be a good run, though, from Moses Leo. Nicely done. Now, New Zealand back in it, and they have been able to get the conversion as well. I'm trying to decide who's going to win this game. I have no idea, to be honest. No, you're supporting, says Valerie. I'm from New Zealand, but I always say if the other team deserve to win, then they can certainly go on. And I hope Australia does well in the Seventh Circuit today. The winner will play Ireland. Side that both New Zealand and Australia have got good records against, although I believe New Zealand have never been beaten by Ireland, whereas Australia have. So that would mean the advantage goes a little bit in favour of the Kiwis in that regard for being able to take down the Irish in the quarterfinals. But Kurt Baker has kicked it off short. It's just going to go the 10. Great take from Nick Maloof, wrestled down by Dylan Collier. New Zealand almost able to get themselves the counter ruck, but not quite for Sione Molia. Now Hutchison fires it across to Maurice Longbottom, tries to step on the inside. Good ball. Cross now to Hutchison. New Zealand on the ball, asking for the penalty. They don't receive it, though. Now Roach goes across to Turner. One more on the outside. Will be the big man, Nathan Lawson. Now Nick Maloof. Got a lot of size here for the Australian sides. And also we get there Italy versus Samoa at 2 a.m. Then All Blacks versus Wales 4:15 a.m. Energy drinks on the ways or onwards, says Abel there. And Christopher Hamish, as you need more backup. As you can't do the sevens, you call me, says Brandon. I will keep it in mind. Now, Australia just managed to keep that ball. Dietrich Roach down the short side. New Zealand was sleeping on that right-hand side of the field. And Dietrich Roach scores the try for Australia, now giving them the lead back 10-7 in favour of the Aussies. Third try of the Hong Kong Sevens for Dietrich Roach. He'll be a very happy man with that, I would think, although he's not really smiling at the moment. Dietrich Roach, I should say, does know that the job is not done as of yet. That's the ball down, though, over the try line. Very happy with that one. Dietrich Roach, and Australia now with this conversion could find themselves 5 points up. Roach, he has got it over. Brilliant kick. 12-7 now in favour of Australia with 1 minute 30 left in the first half. And for G. Hamish, what is $45 times 34? That's a lot of money, Brandon. So I guess maybe, those are the kind of odds that Hong Kong found themselves having in the last match up against the Samoans. But yeah, it would be a relatively large number. I'm sure if I tried to really break it down, I'll be able to work it out, but I feel like there's not quite enough time in this one. I'd say it's about 1,200 and something, though. Maybe about 1,300 or 1,400 worth. Well, Sam Dixon's cheekbone has been cut open at the moment. Oh, he's not happy, Sam Dixon. He's saying it's not bleeding. He's going, it's not bleeding. It's not bleeding. Okay, Sam Dixon, he's not happy. He's got a mouse under the eye. He's saying, ref, it's not bleeding. Please let me continue this match. But he's going to have to go off for the blood bin, a sub that New Zealand probably didn't want to make at this stage of the contest. He is saying I think he just said tape it up or tape it up. He's a tough man, Sam Dixon, but this is going to be kicked off now by the Australians. Dietrich Roach gets it just the 10 metres. Knock on from New Zealand, now stolen back by New Zealand. Oh, Kurt Baker, he thought they were going to be going back for the initial knock on. I guess advantage was over extremely quickly there. Australia will feel slightly hard done by. Now Regan Ware tries to make his way through. Looked like he took a hard bit of contact, and I think he's hurt his shoulder in the process, or the knee or something for Regan Ware. He just fell awkwardly. Joe Webber looking for the inside ball off to Baker. And now it's going to be stolen back by Australia. Maurice Longbottom with the nice step. Moses Leo lured in off his wing. Maurice accelerates, and Longbottom's going to get himself another try for the Australians here with 30 seconds left on the clock. I'm getting you match questions again. Rugby League questions too, says Brandon. And come on, New Zealand, says Valerie. Although now with Maurice Longbottom scoring first try of Hong Kong. It's surprising that it's taken him this long to get his first try of the match, but brilliantly done by Longbottom. The way that he is able to just accelerate, he sells a couple dummies and then straight through, accelerates as hard as he can. He's got a brilliant time over the 100 metres, and he's proven it right there once again. Longbottom, says Nate in there as well. But the 60-metre dash from Maurice scores the try. Now New Zealand find themselves as $5.45 underdogs in this contest now. Maurice Longbottom done very well this kick. It is unsuccessful. Okay, so currently 10 points difference between these two sides. This could be an interesting one here for the Kiwis. Like they're saying, crucial match in Pool A. Whoever wins this game will go through to the quarterfinals to face the Irish. A couple of the other quarterfinals that we have got, it is going to be Samoa versus Argentina. USA, they are going to be playing up against someone. USA are playing France, and Fiji play South Africa. That is a big game. And let's go Australia. And don't trust people with non-PC names, says Sebastian. And there as well, yeah. I guess it's an unlucky but a lucky last name, if that makes sense, because, of course, people are going to remember it. But then also, it's just unfortunate with the fact that it's got a part of the word in it. And come on, New Zealand question for you, Hamish. Do you want more game like we see tonight? For the Black Ferns in the Rugby League World Cup, it would be great to see very close matches. And just like we saw for France versus New Zealand, my mum was on the edge of her seat for that live stream. It was quite funny to watch your reaction near the end of the match, and for non-PG rather, says Sebastian in the chat as well. Now New Zealand, like they're saying, plenty of work to do here for the end of this matchup. 7 minutes left, down by 10. Looks like they've still got relatively a large amount of support there in the crowd. There are about 4 people who are dressed as Woody from Toy Story by the looks of it. And also we found a couple more of the Dalmatians who have been shown many times throughout the live stream, unless they are different Dalmatians and they are trying to add up to 101 by the end of the stream. New Zealand are now $16 underdogs. I just checked on the TAB, which means more than likely Australia score this first try of the second half. And she cried tears of joy. Bless her, she denied it. But she was moved by that ending, says Sebastian in there as well. And need make me cry as she do it, says it was Brandon. And the chat as well is going to be slapped back onto the side of New Zealand. Why are they $16 underdogs here? That's why interception. Australia running through, getting themselves the try. I was confused, but now that makes a lot of sense. Because Australia have been able to get it. You're right, Sebastian. And there as well, says Brandon. Now Nathan Lawson scores his first try of the Hong Kong Sevens. New Zealand may be missing out on the big matches of the quarterfinals here by the looks of it. They aren't able to get themselves back into this contest, which is going to be extremely tough to do now that Australia found their strides. They've found their rhythm. The only thing that's benefiting New Zealand is the fact that there's been a couple misconversions. And do we blur the long or the bottom? A bottom or long? I would say probably if you had to blur one of them, it would be the bottom part. But then in context, it makes sense, I guess you could say. And that's going to be 24 points to 7 now in favor of Australia. So New Zealand are going to need 3 converted tries if they want to win this contest. Or at least 2 converted tries and 1 more. Is you got her who call, Hamish, says Brandon. Is you got her who call from the movie? Which movie are we talking? I feel like I may have missed that movie. Maybe the comment didn't come through for me. Which movie are we talking? And also we've got the England openers are so solid, mate. Keep the runs coming, lads. Says Sebastian. Yeah, I did see Sri Lanka were about 72 for 2. And I was like, uh-oh. They're starting to score relatively quickly. But luckily it seems like England should be able to chase it down. Fingers crossed, touch wood, all that stuff, because we don't want Sri Lanka going through, do we? Okay, they're going to have a bit of a chat here. Okay. Your arm is touching, so because of it, it is a penalty for in the air. That's my French accent. It was pretty bad. New Zealand have now got themselves the penalty as $16 underdogs. Dylan Collier sitting there going, what we doing, boys? What's the plan? Ghost at movie. Ghost is in the one with Patrick Swayze and that, like, the molding the clay. My mum probably likes that movie. Now, Dylan Collier, inside ball from Regan Weir. Now Kurt Baker receives the ball again. Maurice Longbottom fighting him for those meters. And you hear that? You've been as fast as we don't want them to go through, says Sebastian. And there's, yeah, don't tell anyone. Now, Leroy Carter trying to break through the line, still going forward. Doesn't look like he's too keen on the passing idea for their Regan Weir. Now, Moses Leo going back across onto the side. It will be Regan Weir here once again. Sam Dixon with a nice carry forward, moving to 50 meters out from the line. Dylan Collier. Now, one more goes to Moses Leo. Almost able to break through the line. Leroy Carter with the nice step. It's a little bit further back for the Kiwis, but they're just outside of the 22 now, and it is looking dangerous. Dixon with the ball on the outside to Kurt Baker. Looks like he's running on wobbly legs, but 5 meters out from the line now. New Zealand still attacking. Regan Weir gives it off to Dylan Collier. One more, no, decides to run it himself. Now through the legs. Available for the Kiwis once again here. And now Regan Weir not quite able to hang on to it. I can see that my cat is walking around at the moment. I might have to let him out of the lounge soon. And also Ghostbusters says Brandon and New Zealand Sevens having a break. Not on the mood or slowly get him there, says Nate in the chat as well. But yeah, just those little mistakes are costing the Kiwis here for the second half of rugby. Regan Weir wasn't expecting the pass from Moses Leo. He went up through the legs. It was an interesting tactic. It was working for the Kiwis, throwing a few unorthodox looks at the Australians, but now it's going to be an Australian scrum. And also the cat, says Brandon, in there as well. And also their victory goes to the Aussies. The seven side is pretty solid. Not as good as the women's side, but they pull their weight, says Sebastian. Yeah, with only 4 minutes left on the clock, unless New Zealand get themselves a counter scrum here and a whole heap more points on the board, I think we are going to be seeing an Australian win. They're asking to put the ball in. Big push there. Maurice Longbottom goes off to Josh Turner, who boots it way downfield. It looks like James going to be chasing after it. I am late. I'm late. Weird night mood, says Brandon there. Now New Zealand inside of their own 22. Roka Lisoa has made his way onto the field, going off to Sione Molia. Able to find a very good option. So Roka Lisoa still keeping it alive with not that much sleep. Says Brandon as well. Regan Weir ball on the outside. Narohi McGarvey Black gives it off to Leroy Carter. Once again, it doesn't look like he's going to be passing. He does find the offload that time, though, to McGarvey Black. Now, New Zealand still just trying to find a way through this Australian defence. They have been throwing absolutely everything at them. Roka Lisoa, ball on the outside. Sione Molia, he's going to have the foot race. Dietrich Roach trying to stop him. He steps on the inside and scores the try for New Zealand. Still 3 minutes left on the clock. Could there be a try coming for New Zealand right at the end of this contest? Maybe 1 or 2 more. Hey, Billy, what you up to? You guys can probably hear my cat. He is asking for the door to be opened. I will open it in about 2 minutes. And you definitely are, Brandon, says Catherine. And also Rainthorn too, not sports fan, or no sports fan will sleep this weekend, Brandon. There's too much delicious sport on, says Sebastian. There certainly is. But that is a good try for New Zealand, moving up to 24 points to 12. Narohi McGarvey Black misses, but New Zealand still need another 2 converted tries. And Mark Robinson should get the sack for destroying our reputation. 7 sucks, 15 sucks, says Stone Cold. in there as well. Now, it will be 24 points to 12 at the moment in favour of New Zealand. Oh, sorry, in favour of Australia, I should say. It is a little bit late update in the scoreboard, but it looks like Rokalisoa puts the ball high. It's just gone the 10 metres. Great take from, I believe it was the big man, number 9, Amanaki Nicole. Now New Zealand have this one back. They are still down by 12 points. Narohi McGarvey Black gives it off to Rokalisoa. This will be one of the best comebacks we have seen from New Zealand if they can get it done. Ball on the outside. It is poor. It's gone into touch. And that's the mistake that New Zealand could not afford to make. If they had scored within the next 30 seconds, they still had a chance in this game. But with that one going down, does mean could be a little bit too little too late for the Kiwis. And you can see Rokalisoa, he is disappointed with the way that pass went. Last 5 errors, we have seen 4 from New Zealand and 1 from Australia. As in fact not. So here's Brandon there. Now Josh Turner runs at the line again. It's going to be 40 metres out from the line now. Back across. Stuart Dunbar gives it off to James Turner. 1 minute left on the clock now. As they continue to try and get themselves maybe one more try. My cat is coming up. Come on. There you go. It's now come up for a look. Maurice Longbottom going off to the left-hand side here for Australia. The drawing pass is good. Dunbar now on the outside to Henry Patterson. He's got James Turner with him if he decides to use him, and he sure does now one-on-one. Great tackle made by, I believe, it would have been Amanaki Nicole getting involved. Hello. Now, Josh Turner tries to step. Inside ball off to Oates. 30 seconds left on the clock now for New Zealand. Stolen cleanly by Sione Molia. And also going to test your gaming knowledge, Hamish. Who's that character in Stone Cold's Avatar? One moment. I'm going to zoom in. Now, is he a guy? Oh, it looks familiar. Is he the guy out of... It's not Tekken. Is it... What's that one that's got like 10 games? Final Fantasy? Is it out of Final Fantasy? Am I right there or am I completely wrong? Rokalisoa now tries to attack for New Zealand again. They are not going to be able to win this game, but they can still get just a little bit closer to being back in the contest. Now it's going to be another step from Amanaki Nicole. And also his late night weird mode is very funny, says Brandon. Also, let's go bad, says Nate. And also Sub-Zero from, it's Mortal Kombat. I know it was one of those ones that had multiple games. That's going to annoy me now. What did I say? I can't even remember. Final Fantasy, I think I said, didn't I? Now, it's going to be a knock-on advantage in favour of New Zealand. Narohi McGarvey Black looking to attack the line. Looks like he's just going to sacrifice the tackle. Found a nice offload in the process there. Now, Rokalisoa moves up a bit further. And also, we got their well, not bad Oz. Says Hanoi now back across to the short side. Attack and run. Leroy Carter will score the last try of this contest, but it will be too little too late for the New Zealanders in it. And that will now make the score 24 points to 17 with a kick to come. Well, not bad. Oz says Hanoi, yeah, they played very well throughout this game. They have outclassed the Kiwis, and now they move their way through to the quarterfinal where they will end up taking on Ireland. So that will be a very awesome match to be able to watch. But that is going to be the end of the contest. New Zealand disappointed with the result. They know that this definitely wasn't their best tournament, but now they find themselves jockeying for possibly around 9th place or so. But thank you all very much for tuning in. Our next live stream will be at 3:30 a.m. for Papua New Guinea versus England. Also alongside that, we have got the All Blacks versus Wales, South Africa versus Ireland, and France versus Australia, or maybe New Zealand versus Fiji. I haven't quite decided on that last live stream as of yet. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for the next one.